All right, so ESPN just dropped their new 2024 NBA mock draft, and I want to react to it. I currently don't have ESPN Plus right now, and On3, this website, just basically reposted it, so I'm going to react to it here. Definitely reasonable if you want to call me cheap in the comments. But yeah, let me know also if you guys like to hear my opinions on any other outlets and their mock drafts as well. This is from Jonathan Gavoni. I'll leave a link to that article in the description as well. He's their #1 draft guy. He definitely gives some really good thoughts and opinions. So they did this on projection since obviously the lottery is until May. And with the #1 pick, they have the Washington Wizards taking Zachary Rissacher out of France, playing a JL board right now. And Rissacher has definitely gained some hype to go #1 overall. And it's definitely looking like this can happen because he's going to be an efficient shooter at the next level, but I think he projects to be more of a complementary piece rather than somebody you're building around. But I think that'd be fine for the Wizards because obviously they don't even know who their franchise player is yet. Obviously, like the Detroit Pistons have Cade Cunningham, the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama, the Hornets have LaMelo Ball. We don't really know who that is for the Wizards yet because their most paid guy is Jordan Poole, not working out. Bilal Coulibaly could be that guy, but it may not be for a little bit. And I think I've seen a couple guys go projected #1, but it seems like Rissacher definitely is the most hyped to go #1 right now. So #2, he has the Detroit Pistons selecting Alex Sarr. I'd still probably go Sarr #1 overall if I were any of these teams. I think Sarr does project to have some jumper at the NBA level where you could play him next to Jalen Duren. Obviously, we're going to need to see more reps out of him as we lead up to the draft, and it may take a lot of time for him to develop a consistent jumper at the NBA level. But who knows? Maybe Detroit ends up trading out of this pick because they don't really love Sarr as a fit. Maybe they opt for a wing with Rissacher off the board and they take the next best guy. But he's going to be an elite rim protector, and I think he has one of the highest floors out of anybody in this class. All right, this is a shocker. #3 overall, he is the San Antonio Spurs selecting Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. Now, Rob Dillingham is an absolute beast this year. You can see he's averaging just under 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Wildcats. On good efficiency, too. Almost 50% from the field, almost 45% from 3. Does need to work on those free throws, though. He is 6'1", 6'2", so a little bit undersized for a guard, but this dude is a flat-out bucket. Kentucky is one of the more deeper teams in the country and seems to be a little underwhelming this year, but they just lost against LSU on the road, but it wasn't because of Dillingham. He came off the bench, he had 23 points, he looked a little shaky for the first half of that game, but really showed out in that fourth quarter when the game mattered the most. I mean, he continues to come off the bench for the team. He should play more than 22 minutes a night for the Wildcats, and I really like the idea of him in San Antonio. 3 seems a little bit high. Nikola Topic is still my point guard 1 in this class, and I think has a higher ceiling than Dillingham, but Dillingham probably has a higher floor, and if you want to be safe with this pick at 3, I get it. This is a little bit of a shocker. Matas Buzelis at #4 to the Charlotte Hornets out of the G League Ignite. Buzelis has played in 18 games for the Ignite this season. He's shooting 45% from the field, 28% from 3, and 65% from the line. The Ignite have been an absolute mess. He did show out a little bit in the Rising Star Showcase and All-Star Weekend. I mean, he's a 6'10 forward. That's obviously going to be very appealing to the modern day game. And I think Charlotte could look for a wing to pair him up with Brandon Miller alongside Mark Williams and LaMelo Ball, so I get that. I don't think I would go Buzelis. I wouldn't go over him over his G League teammate Ron Holland just because of Ron Holland's defensive potential. I wouldn't go over Cody Williams because I think Cody Williams will be a more consistent complementary shooter to somebody like LaMelo Ball or Brandon Miller. So I think this is way too high for Matas right now. I know he has a lot of potential. I just wouldn't be a fan of him to Charlotte. So I just mentioned Cody Williams. He has Cody Williams going to Portland at 5. Thankfully, he does not have them taking a point guard. I've seen way too many mocks of the Blazers using their first on a lead guard, especially if they are picking this high with Cody Williams on the board. It would just make no sense for them to take like a Topic or a Castle. So they get Cody Williams, the younger brother of Jalen Williams out of Colorado. He's been efficient this season, 59% from the field, 47% from 3, just 70% from the line. It is a little misleading for those 3-pointers though, because he is just taking 2 a night. So you'd like to see him take a little bit more, and sometimes it feels like he's trying to preserve his high 3-point percentage and passes up solid looks. And in some late games for Colorado this season, he's definitely been phased out of their offense, and he looks like maybe the 3rd or 4th best player on the Buffalo's team. And he wasn't a great shooter in high school as well. So if he could be somewhat consistent, because obviously 47% is not sustainable, if he could be a high 30s guy at the NBA level, could be a great complementary piece to Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons. He could play alongside either Shaedon Sharpe or Jeremy Grant. It could be a nice 2, 3, or 4 at the NBA level because he has the size and the frame to be a good defender. Maybe needs to get a little bit stronger though. So he is the Toronto Raptors selecting Nikola Topic 6 overall. I think this is incredible value. Like I said, I would have taken him 3rd overall to the San Antonio Spurs in this mock. He definitely has a slower style of play, similar to somebody like Luka Doncic did. He did start playing EuroLeague ball this year, but got hurt kind of right away in that. I mean, he's 18 years old and he's already 6'6", 200 pounds. That projects to be a pretty good athlete at the NBA level. And he won MVP honors at the FIBA Under-18 European Championship last year. That's still pretty impressive. And him in Toronto could be really fun because I don't think Emmanuel Quickley is like the franchise point guard. He could be a 1, he could be a 2. He may come off the bench. That may better suit him. So I like this fit for Toronto. We got Memphis here at #7 selecting Jacoby Walter out of Baylor. Walter's kind of been all over the place, especially as of late, has not been very efficient for the Baylor Bears that have been kind of fluctuating with their ranking in college basketball this season. He's kind of the 1 or the 2 on this team, so at least we're seeing a high volume. He's taking 11 shots a night, 6 of those being 3. So I think this 32% on 6 attempts is kind of encouraging because he's shooting 85% from the line. So it makes me think he could shoot north of 35% from 3 at the NBA level. I don't know if he's going to be as efficient as a 3-level scorer as maybe scouts thought he could be earlier in the Big 12 conference play. I don't know if I love the fit of him in Memphis though, specifically. There's some other players I think I would opt for them to take here at 7, maybe a complimentary piece like Reed Shepherd, or take one of the best defensive wings in this class, Ron Holland. Okay, he is the Houston Rockets selecting Tijon Salon, number 8. This pick is via Brooklyn from the James Harden trade. I don't like this. I think Salon should not be a top 10 pick right now, especially with the way this mock is going. I could like to see Houston maybe add some more big man depth. This could be the range where you see guys like Kyle Filipowski, Kalel Ware, Yves Missy, Donovan Clingan start going. I just mentioned Ron Holland. I think he would be a great fit this team. I think Reed Shepherd could be also a great complementary piece, being how efficient he's been at Kentucky this season. So I'm not a fan of Salon to the Rockets at 8 right now. He's going to take a little bit of time to develop. I don't know if he'd be a good enough defender right away in Ime Udoka's system. So he's got the OKC Thunder selecting Kyle Filipowski, number 9. I like them taking a big man here, but once again, with Ron Holland on the board, I don't really see the appeal of taking Filipowski ahead of Holland. Filipowski would have been a top 20 pick last year, but decided to stay at Duke, and if he ended up going here in the top 10, definitely would have been worth it. He's averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds this year for the Duke Blue Devils. He's also improved his 3-point shot, going from 28% as a freshman to 34% as a sophomore. Maybe a little bit undersized at the NBA level to be a center, but could be a nice backup 4 for the Thunder. I don't hate the pick. I really like the idea of the Hawks getting Ron Holland here at 10. Holland is 6'8", 200 pounds. He was like the number 1 prospect coming out of last year's high school class. Originally he was supposed to go to Texas, decommitted, now playing for the Ignite. Like Buzelis and a lot of guys that have came through the G League Ignite system, has struggled with his efficiency. 44% from the field, 24% from 3, 76% from the line. He does not pass the ball all too well. Sometimes has tunnel vision, and a 3.2 assists to 3 turnover ratio isn't great. I think that's more of a G League Ignite issue, not a Ron Holland issue, but he could be a really good defender at the NBA level. He's been incredible for the Ignite this year on that side of the floor, and that could be a great piece to a Hawks team that could retool its complete roster this offseason. All right, so let's hit on the rest of the first round here. Thunder get Donovan Clingan at 11. Hey, they had Filipowski and Clingan in this draft. I would be a big fan of that. The Thunder haven't really drafted that many bigs in the last 5 years. I mean, you could add Pokusevski in the 2020 draft, and then obviously you had Chet Holmgren in 20. So this would be a good way for the Thunder to beef up their front court depth. So I'm a fan of it, but if you just added Ron Holland and Clingan in this draft, or Shepherd and Clingan, I'd like that a little bit more in my opinion. There are some medical concerns with Clingan though coming out of the draft, so we'll see how high he goes with those issues maybe flaring up or just appearing in medicals on draft time. Next up, we got Reed Shepherd going to the Bulls at 12. I think this is really good value for Chicago. I think Shepherd is a borderline top 10 prospect in this class. It's because of the efficiency. It's because of the playmaking ability, and he's going to be, I think, a perfect complementary piece at the next level. It'd be really fun to watch him and Kobe White in the backcourt next year for the Bulls if they move Levine this offseason. He's averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 52 from the field, 51% from 3, and 80% from the line. Those numbers alone should warrant a lottery pick. Next up, we got Zach Edey to the Kings at 13. This may be the dumbest pick in this whole mock. You go to any other draft outlet like The Athletic, like CBS Sports, Bleacher Report, nobody has Edey in the lottery. Just nobody does. So I don't get why Jonathan Givony and ESPN loves thinking that Edey will be a lottery pick. I don't think he should be. Obviously, he's one of the best players. You could say he is the best player in college basketball. I mean, he has some great statistics. He's a 4-year senior. If you watch this guy play, there's no way he's going to be able to keep up with NBA center athletes. Like, yes, he's 7'4". Yes, he's 285. But that is a giant to the kids he's playing in the NCAA level. It's another beast at the NBA level. It's not going to be that impressive that he's 7'4", 285. I think he's probably projected to be a good backup big man in the NBA if he were to stay healthy. But for a Kings team, I would not take Edey here at 13. There's other bigs that I like. I like Deron Holmes more than him. I like Yves Missy, Kalel Ware, Tyler Smith out of the G League Ignite. I just don't know what ESPN loves about Zach Edey to take him here at 13. Pelicans getting Isaiah Collier at 14. This pick is from the AD trade. Last time the Pelicans took a pick at the back end of the lottery with Kyra Lewis, didn't work out, but Collier was a top prospect coming into the year. Got off to a rough start at USC, but has been a beast as of late for them. This dude is an absolute bowling ball when he's driving to the rim. He scored 25 against Colorado, 15 against Utah, 18 against Stanford, 20 against Cal. She 26 against Stanford again. He's been playing well in conference play, and I would much rather have Isaiah Collier on my team going forward than Zach Edey. We got Toronto Raptors selecting Stephon Castle at 15. Castle could be a project play, but maybe perfect for this Toronto Raptors team. If they ended up with Castle and Topic in this draft, that would be really fun because at least one of those guys should work out as your franchise point guard. I don't know why we have Kevin McCullough going to 16 to Miami. I hate this pick as well. McCullough has been really inefficient as of late, as you could see. Some injuries in there. Shot 29% against Cincy, 27% against Iowa State. Played well against Houston, 33% against Kansas State, 28% against Oklahoma. He's also a 5-year senior as well, so he's 23 years old. But hey, maybe that's what the Heat want to go for. I just like better upperclassmen than him. Like take Dalton Connect there. They got Devon Carter going to the Blazers at 17. I like that. He's not really a lead point guard. He's more known for his defense out of Providence, so I'm cool with that. He can play alongside Scoot Henderson. I love Dalton Connect going to the Magic at 18. I think that's who the Heat should probably take at 16. I think maybe that's who the Kings should take at 13. Love the Knicks getting Tyler Smith out of the G League Ignite at 19. Could space the floor as a big man. Love the Sixers getting Jared McCain at 20. One of the best shooters in this draft. A little bit undersized. Doesn't have a super high ceiling, but is, like I said, one of the best shooters in this class. And is a freshman. Suns getting Ryan Dunn at 21. I do not know how Dunn doesn't go in the top 20. He's the best defender in this class. Yes, there are concerns with the outside jumper, but this dude is the best defender. He can plug and play into any defensive scheme, and he's still an incredible athlete. He's a great slasher, cutter. He can finish inside at the rim. Ryan Dunn, in my opinion, should go in the lottery. I don't think he goes 21 to the Suns. I mean, that would be an absolute steal. There are so many teams that I would love to land Dunn. Kings at 13, Pelicans at 14, Raptors at 15. Basically, every team should look at Ryan Dunn. Even you see to the Bucks at 22, they need some big man help. That's a good pick. Bobby Clement to the Knicks at 23. I'm fine with that. Could be a project player. The Knicks have a pretty deep roster as it is. Could benefit of playing in the G League. Khalil Ware going to the Pelicans at 24 with Jonas Valanciunas pending free agency. I'm cool with that. Idon Almanza to the Nuggets at 25. Another project big man with Zeke Naji really not having a great year off that extension. This could be a solid pick. I don't know why we have Trayvon Brazile still as a first rounder out of Arkansas. I don't see it. He's basically a junior and he's shooting 46% from the field and 34% from three. And I don't even think he's going to be projected to be that good as a defender at 6'9". I really don't see the first round appeal in him. I mean, the Wizards taking a flyer on DJ Wagner. He's not been great at Kentucky this year. He could definitely benefit another year playing in college. I'm fine with the Cavs taking Juan Nunez there at 28. He's probably a fringe first rounder at this point. There are some players I like a little bit more. Tyler Kolek going to the Celtics at 30. He could be a good playmaking point guard at the NBA level. I'm a big fan of him. A white dude that talks a lot of shit could fit right in there at Boston. Melvin Ajinka going to the Jazz at 31. Don't know if I really love them taking another project player. So I actually hate this first round for the Jazz right now. And then lastly, they have Keyshawn George going to the Raptors at 32. I don't know why there's 32 picks in here. That actually confused me a ton. I was like, wait, there's 32 teams in the league now. So yeah, these are the first two second rounders. Okay, I skipped over Johnny Furphy. If he's going to declare in this draft, this is a great pick for the Timberwolves at 29. I thought he could maybe stay another year at Kansas, but I think he's definitely surpassed Kevin McCullough as the guy I would take out of Kansas. Like, he's a freshman, he's young, and he's been very efficient as of late, but he's really risen up some draft boards. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, basically since conference play started, the dude has been much better for Kansas, but I still think he would benefit from staying another year as a Jayhawk. But going back to Keyshawn George here at 32, he's going to be a good defender in the league. I don't really love the pick, but hey, at 32, why not? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that mock in the comments below. I was surprised to see no Trey Alexander of Creighton or Oso Ighodaro out of Marquette. I would have taken those two guys in the first round. And yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed me react to this mock by dropping a thumbs up, and let me know if you guys want to see more of this content on the channel. Make sure you're following the podcast, link in the description below to the YouTube dedicated channel, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you all again for watching. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.